Hey, this is Frank Nigetto with Vision Quest Auto, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Hyundai Elantra, the 2024 Hyundai Elantra. Now, this particular model is a limited edition, and which means it's basically fully loaded. It has every feature that Hyundai puts out in a car. We'll be taking a look at how well does the top of the line Hyundai compare to the big dogs in the compact car class. Talk about the compact car class. Obviously there are two big names in that class. It's the Honda Civic and it's the Toyota Corolla. The Civic continues to get better. The Corolla continues to get better. And it's also happening while that class is shrinking. The class tends to get smaller. We've seen Ford and GM leave, so it's really left it with Honda, Toyota, Kia, Hyundai, Mazda, Volkswagen. There are some other players around, but those are the big dogs in the mix. But the really big dogs in the mix, of course, Honda and Toyota. And it's happening at a time where it's interesting because more and more people are moving away from cars and they're going towards SUVs or pickup trucks. When you do stick with cars, a lot of them more and more are electric cars or EVs. This is a pure gas only vehicle. And that space is really dominated by the Civic, by the Corolla, which also have, the Corolla is of course also a hybrid model as well. They're offering even more versions. Hyundai does have the N line version of this, which is their high performance version or their higher performance sport version, however you want to put this. But so does Honda, and Honda really ups its game with two sport versions, the SI and the Type R. So how does this compare? Where does Hyundai fit into the mix in today's market? And if you are shopping for it, should this be under consideration for you? So that's what we're going to be discussing today. So let's get to it. As you can tell, this has got that kind of new look that Hyundai Kia has been going for the last few years, which is this futuristic kind of vibe. This is pretty unique, that not only does it have the cat eyes, it's got this really sleek look on the hood that is something that's incredibly unique for them, I think. And, it stands out. Kind of has both a more upscale look and a sporty look at the same time. The same goes for the wheels, as you can tell. They've got that kind of sleek look, but also kind of standout feature, but not too over the top. It's pretty good for a sports car. It doesn't stand out that same way. Not that this is a sports car, but it has a little bit of design cues from both. From the side, this is very reminiscent of a Honda Accord or a Honda Civic. More Accord to me. It's got these little design cues. They don't really do anything and they're just plastic, but it's kind of a nice little feature there. The back is again, has a similar vibe to the front where you're just looking at this with very angular, very angular, pretty aggressive in a lot of ways. You see that those tail lights, they really kind of have that a unique shape to them, and it's spelled out the Elantra there. You've got your Hyundai logo. For those who are wondering how you open up the trunk, here's it is, button right there, pops it open, and good amount of space here. Something I'm not a big fan of, but it's not a huge deal. But you pull these from inside the trunk to lower the seats. Not always the most convenient thing, though. Obviously, once you have this as your car, you get used to it, and it's pretty similar to something that Honda does again. So there's some definite overlaps as far as designs, I think, between Honda and Hyundai, where they just have similar feels, and this is one of them. But a good amount of space back there. Come around the side here, and it's more the same. So, the back seat, good amount of space, especially for a car this size. This is actually a surprising amount of space. This is the limited edition, so it costs about $28,000, which is a really good price nowadays, to be honest. And I don't know how many people are going to get this as their primary family vehicle. It's good for smaller kids. I'd say even early teens can fit back here, no problem. there is, what the headroom to get in, is a little bit tight. Once you're inside, it's not too bad. Seating, the foot space is very good. So, in a pinch, you can definitely put adults back here, though, again, I wouldn't have this as your primary mode of transportation for back seat passengers unless, they're smaller kids. And that's what you're looking at here designed. As you can see, there's just 2 USB-C ports for charging. And, a nice little cup holder. Nothing too outstanding, but it does a good job. I'm going to come around and show you the passenger, and then I'll go back in the driver's space. We'll show you that a little bit more. Passengers, they get this is a pretty nice looking seat. It's a little bit sporty again. Not thickest bolstering, but it's there as far as having a little bit of a sports sedan look. Maybe a little bit of a feel as far as the aesthetics go. The driving, not quite. And we'll talk about that in a minute, but a nice looking car for sure, especially at this price point. The entry and exiting for this car is pretty easy to get in and out of from driver or passenger. So definitely appreciate that. This is, in my mind, pretty much a daily commuter type of car, and for that it does a great job. As you can tell right down there, this does change, so it goes by trips or recent trips. Getting about 33 miles per gallon. That's good, not great. I will say when I'm driving on a highway, and most of this week I've been getting about 40 miles per gallon, which is excellent, especially since this is not a hybrid and this is not an electric car, obviously. So it's doing a really nice job getting good mileage. The steering wheel is really comfortable. It's got most of your controls here. You can go with modes. You can talk to the car here. This will just pop you into, your different settings with your phone projection. Sound of nature is one of those weird things that Hyundai does. I don't know too many people who use it. It's more to kind of relax in your car. It's a cool idea. I've used it exactly once, to be honest. Here is one. This is my Fat Guy in Little Coat award for something that doesn't really fit. Winner. It just doesn't fit because it was a pain in the butt. So, setup. Okay. Vehicle. Yeah, this is all a pain in the butt. So here, that just gives you an idea. There's a lot of menus to get to turn off driving convenience. Highway driving assist. Yeah. Highway auto speed change. This is... So my thing was driving safely. I didn't want that lane safety. It's a very aggressive, especially with some of the roads that I'm taking on the highways. There's a lot of construction going on, so the lanes are changing, and this is very aggressive with its lane keep assist. They call it lane safety. It was very, very, very aggressive with pulling me, and I didn't like it. So I had to turn it off. But it was a while to find exactly where to turn that off on. The rest of this stuff, I think, is good safety stuff. It's really a lot of great safety features in this car, but that was something that I just did not appreciate, was being able to turn that off. So that's my Fat Guy in Little Coat award. Just something that doesn't fit. It would have been nicer if you could just have that again. A lot of the lane keep assists are right on the steering wheel in a lot of cars today, or it's clearly marked. The fact that I have to go into setup, vehicle, then find it, and this was weird because it's not on the menus here. It's, see, it pops over and then you get it. It's not, once you know where it's at, it's not bad, but it's a lot. A lot of cars have this as just telling you the safety features, and they don't really click on anything. The fact that this does was just a little bit quirky and wonky to me. So that's my Fat Guy Little Coat award. Another thing I want to note here is our John Cena award for You Can't See Me, because it's not here. Now, you can actually see this, but you'll see what I'm saying here. Here's the thing.
Okay, you see there are, you got a USB-C, a USB-A. And here's the crazy thing. You can see this got just charging. This USB-C is only charging. So for your phone projection up here for, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, that does not work. You need a USB-A. So, to me, that's just something you should have both of them work on. Or, again, wireless charging, you could have just had this be wireless CarPlay and auto. Didn't have that. It's not the biggest deal, but the fact that you have to go through and find a USB A to USB C cord is a pain because now even Apple's up to USB C. So, that's an overlook to me. Not the biggest deal in the world. Most of us will have those cords lying around, but for me, when I jumped into this car, when I got this car delivered, it meant that I generally carry one cord with me. It's a USB-C, just in case I need it, because most of these cars nowadays are wireless CarPlay or auto. So I'll just use that. But in the cases that they aren't, it'll usually be a USB-C. The fact that I had to go back in the house and find it. Again, first world problems, not the end of the world here. But, it is something that's missing. It's something you can't see. Just like John Cena. John Cena's probably in the back seat right now because I can't see him. But there you go. That's our winner. No USB-C phone projection.
And one thing that you notice when you get into an Elantra is it's really comfortable. It nails the everyday driving aspect that you want. It's very, very comfortable. It's a very smooth ride. There's no issues with any bumps in the road. The turning radius is great. But the one thing that you're going to notice is the handling itself isn't the best when it comes if you're looking for a sporty ride. Now that does get improved with the N line. That Hyundai tends to they're sportier, but they can't match the feel of the Type R. So it does have a good feel for it, but it's not quite there if you're looking at it from point of view for really having that athletic feel, that really tight turning, that cornering capability. It's not there. If you're looking for that sports aspect, the N line can get in with the SI, but there's nothing to compare with the Type R. There is no manual transmission with this car. Does this compare as well to the the mileage aspect, that environmental aspect of the Corolla? The base model, absolutely. A hybrid model, no. That's where this comes in. It compares very well, but when you dig into that a little bit more, if you're looking for even better gas mileage, the Corolla is going to suit you. If you're looking for a more sporty ride, the Civic's going to suit you. On the surface, though, with the base models or the general, the regular Elantra, the regular Civic, like you can go to the top of the line, but when you cut out the sports versions, you cut out the hybrid versions of the Corolla and the Civic, this compares really, really well. But I would say that the Civic is pretty much a perfect entry in that class because of all of its customization, all of its everything they can offer. No matter what you're looking for in that class, Honda's got you covered. Pretty much the same thing with Toyota. Not quite, the Corolla. Well, the Corolla does have a sports version as well that really compares. So I think that Toyota and Honda have the full base covered. Hyundai has most of it covered, but it's not quite there. So it's not quite perfect. That's how I rank this. So, all right. So that concludes our review for the week. I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please tell your friends, like, share, subscribe. We're on uh, YouTube, we're on Twitter X, we're on Instagram. You can find us under the Vision Quest Auto name most of the places. Vision Quest A is the name on Twitter. So again, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you around next time for Vision Quest Auto. This is Frank Nieto.